Eagles go into Arrowhead, get a hard-fought victory, 21-17. Patrick Mahomes was 24-43, 177, 2 touchdowns, an interception in the end zone. Conditions weren't ideal
at all,
but
all.
Good teams find ways to overcome weather.
They do. I enjoyed the game. You told me you didn't like it before we started the show. You said you didn't like it. Obviously, I enjoyed the game. Especially what the Chiefs were able to do in the first half. What the Chiefs were able to do in the first half defensively, I thought they were going to run away with the game. Listen, they brought pressure throughout the first half. The Eagles' offensive line looked like it was overwhelmed. It looked like they weren't even the Chiefs' offensive line that we were used to seeing. Casey had.
You mean the Eagles' offensive line?
I'm sorry, the Eagles' offensive line.
You're good.
The Chiefs had 5 sacks in the first half. That's correct. More sacks allowed in one half. They allowed an individual game this season. We need our boy. The poster boy, the poster child, Kelce. He fumbled. With 13:21 left in the game, Eagles scored on an ensuing drive. What happens? They come back. They get the ball, with an opportunity to score. And basically, to me, I think they would have won the game if MVS, if he comes up with that catch. You always stated that this game is created by moments. Moments happen in games like this where you could have won the game, and it just didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
When that ball went up in the air, did you think he was going to catch that ball?
When I saw the DB, when I saw Roby and bump and run and not get a hand on Marquez Valdez-Scantling, didn't touch him, I struck up the band. You struck up the band. It's like seeing Tyreek with bump and run. Marquez can run, and you sitting up there and don't get a hand on him. I said that's touchdown.
I knew it wasn't a touchdown. You know
why?
How
did you not know? How?
Because he's a body catcher and it's inclement weather. When it's a body catcher, how do they catch the ball in dry weather? With their bodies. So you actually think he was going to hand catch that over the shoulder, and that's the hardest one because you got to track the ball. And so now you got Ocho. You know how you do it. You got to take all the way to here.
Right.
He's a body catcher.
But I have a question. Don't you think the weather plays some type of part with the type of gloves that they use today? The weather plays some type of part with it slipping off of his hands.
That could possibly be. But here's the thing, Ocho. It doesn't matter. If you watch him throughout his career, he catches the majority of the ball with his body. He's jumping up doing this or doing this. Right. And so now when you're asking inclement weather to rely on your hands, and now you've got to track the over the shoulder to catch is the hardest catch to make. Yeah. Plus, think about it. What is happening? It's raining. Guess where the raindrops are going? In your eyes. So now, and you're running. So you got to steady your eyes, track the ball over, follow it all the way down. And you can see Ocho, as soon as it hit his hands, instead of him bringing it in, he got the ball up here. What you think is going to happen if you got the ball up here and you hit the ground, Ocho?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's gone.
It's gone. It's gone.
Trav, I don't think Trav had a good game tonight. Punch out. All you got to do, I mean, I don't know how you guys did it, but we got a scouting report on all the DBs. He likes to punch the ball out. Yeah. Okay. He likes to strip from behind. Hey, he can be had of certain things. So we got a scouting report. Who likes to play bump and run? Who likes to play off? Who likes to gamble? Does he like to punch the ball out? If you come from behind guy. We had the scouting report. What's the scouting report on Bradley Roby? He's a punch out guy.
Yeah.
He's a Peanut Tillman. He's looking to be in front and he's going to try to punch the ball out. Trav, whatever, maybe they had the report. He got a little careless with the ball. He got away from his body. Punch out. You take points off the board because that worst case scenario, you're going to get a field goal.
Field goal, at least.
Patrick Mahomes throws an interception in the end zone. Bayard takes up before he even throws the ball because he's staring down Justin Watson. Bayard takes off before he even throws the ball.
Right. And he had just gotten beat previously on that. I think there must have been some miscommunication throughout the secondary, and they had just got beaten. He came back the very next drive and got an interception.
Yes. And so there are 2 drives right there that you take at, let's just say at bare minimum, you took 6 points off the board.
Right.
And remember, kicking field goals, turning the ball over in red zone, you're going to lose ball games like that. But I was on First Take today. I told Stephen A., what I've seen this year from the Eagles, they'll middle around and don't get it going. But if you leave them in the game, Jalen Hurts will find a way to beat you at the end.
They're going to hurt you. They're going to hurt you.
He's going to find a way. And the Eagles, remember, I was the one that was concerned early this year about the Chiefs offense. I told you, Ocho. Now, they got shut out in the second half. They're scoring an NFL worst 5.9 in the second half.
In the second half of games, right.
And they just got blanked. So that average 5.9 is about to dip. And I told you, I said, I got concerns, Ocho. I said, well, you talking about, Mahomes? I said, no. At some point in time, he's not even enough to overcome the inadequate play they get from their skill positions.
But this is the thing about it. And we talk about Patrick Mahomes, and I said, even with them being blanketed and dubbed in the second half, they won't be seeing a defense like this week to week. How many defenses are they going to see week to week that are that of the Philadelphia Eagles? So that's where I say they can overcome it, because an other team that they're going to play, Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to manipulate, dissect, and basically be a goddamn surgeon against other teams outside of the Eagles. And it might be one other team that is suited very well across the board, and as far as the roster is concerned, that can compete with them at every spot.
Yeah, I think that one of the things, and give the Eagles credit, they did a great job of adjusting, doing a better job of protecting Jalen Hurts in the second half. He did a great job of getting the ball out of his hand. They did a great job. L'Jarius Sneed did an unbelievable job on A.J. Brown. He
followed him the whole game, didn't he?
He did an unbelievable job on A.J. Brown. And so now you got to go, and that's why you got a Devontae Smith. So now your number 2 all of a sudden has to be number 1 because they're doing a great job on number 1. So now you need Devontae to step up, and he did step up. But if you remember, there was another play. MVS had it, and there's no safety help. He's one-on-one. I think it's Buckhalter. I think 32. What's his last name? I think it's Buckhalter.
Right.
He runs a 7 route. Why would you run a 7 route instead of a go? If you notice it, Ocho, Mahomes threw him up the field like, run a go. Why are you running a 7 route with no safety? You're going to let the guy use the sideline? Because even if you catch the 7 route, he's going to push you out of bounds. Why not keep it up the field?
Well, that's something they probably hadn't worked on. And I'm so glad you just mentioned that. Let's talk about the play with A.J. Brown that had A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts on the sideline arguing.
Yeah.
It was a hot route. L'Jarius Sneed knew it was a hot route. So what did he do? Even though the split was condensed and he widened out, he knew the ball had to come out. So what did A.J. Brown do? Oh, L'Jarius wanted to cheat and just sit there. He threw up the mailbox like Randy Moss. But it's something that him and Jalen Hurts hadn't worked on. So the ball was already gone. He had to let it go because it was a hot route. I think the chemistry and being together for a long time, I don't know if they have the freedom to do that yet, where he can say, listen, I know a hot route is coming. I know he's going to cheat. I know he's going to sit. I'm going to hold the ball. I'm going to hold the ball a split second longer and take that hit. But you got to come through for me, because that's 6 points. That's 6 points. I understand where A.J. Brown was coming from, but again, Jalen Hurts doesn't know that. So he got to get that ball out of his hands, and it ended up being an interception.
I get that one, Ocho, because it's a bang-bang play.
Bang, bang,
Look, that's something. Look here. If he jumps it, I'm going to run the sluggo. I'm going to run. I'm going to fake it, and I'm going to hit him over the top. So in a situation like that, you're going to ask Jalen Hurts to just retreat. Just retreat and put
let it go. Yeah.
But in an MVS situation, I shouldn't have to tell you that.
Right.
Bro, ain't no safety in the middle of the field. Why in the hell would you run a 7 route instead of a go?
Yeah. Yeah.
But see, Ocho, we think like, a lot of guys, there was just common knowledge. And MVS has been with Mahomes. He won the Super Bowl with him last year.
Yeah.
This is not like he's a new receiver.
Right.
He's been there.
Right.
And that stuff, that should be common knowledge in a situation like that. Oh, they ain't got no safety. Right. Why would I run a 7? Why would I want a 30-yard completion when I can get a 50-yard touchdown?
Yeah, and the funny thing about it is anytime they probably ran that concept out of different formations or different salad dressings, as I call it, there might have been a safety there. So every time he has run it, the look has always been for him to run the corner route. And just so happened in this game, the safety might have did something they had no business, and he wasn't there, but he's used to doing it one way all the time and just wanted to be in the same place. And Mahomes might have been on a different page. Obviously, they weren't.
Mahomes threw him up the field because Mahomes
can see it.
What do we say? What makes great receiver a quarterback combination is the ability to see things at the exact same time, the exact same way,
and be able to adjust on and improvise on the fly.
Yes.
Yeah.
we've already got 17,000 people in the live, and they're donating up a storm asking us questions. Herman Cruz donated $10. Do you believe if the Chiefs have actually invested money in a true number one receiver, they would be in situations like this? What receiver was available? D-Hop? Could they have gotten D-Hop?
Yeah, they could have. And he would have been tremendous in that offense. Yes. Jesus Christ.
Because I need Sky Moore. Look, this is your second year. You're a sophomore. You need to take that next step. Right. Kadarius Toney, you need to take that next step.
Right.
He can't be so reliant, so dependent. Because if Kelce has a game like he had tonight, then what do I do?
Right.
If I put all of my eggs in one basket and I trip on the way to the market, there goes everything, Ocho. And that's what's happened. He's invested so much in Trav. And if Trav ever has an off game, you see how bad it looked. He was 24 of 43, 177.
Yeah. Again, even with the stat line, I'm still going to use the inclement weather as a reason for it. And I think some of those catches that were dropped tonight are caught if it's a dry game. And again, even if they don't have a number one receiver, Patrick Mahomes has 2 Super Bowls. Yeah. Obviously, one of them being with Tyreek Hill. But after that, there still was no true number one where you have to lock in and say, you know what, when the defense comes out the huddle, we have to call our assignments and our adjustments based on where he lines up. They didn't have that, and they still won a Super Bowl. So obviously, Patrick Mahomes is that good.
That's last year, Ocho.
He can overcome not having a number one.
What did Joe Crack say? Yesterday's price ain't today's price.
Right. You're right.
Last year's team ain't this year's team.